medical conditions are fully understood. New discoveries are being made every day, some changing the old knowledge, some adding new knowledge. But how would you know if you are up to date with the knowledge? No need to worry. On Vodafone Healthline, we are up to date. We will discuss today autism, cerebral palsy, and Down syndrome. We'll also meet a child who had blocked esophagus. Can you imagine not being able to swallow anything, not even water? How would that feel? Well, my partners in crime, Dr. Folson and Dr. Yali, will be with me today, Frema Asieri, to walk through some of these issues. Remember, this show is proudly brought to you by Vodafone. The future is exciting. Ready? Welcome back. And then come on, dear, no. Another myth. I can't wait to. Then the end there, yo, we trust war. Wow, what I heard, we need the air patch. They be muy. But Dr. Folson and Dr. Yali, they are here to demystify all that. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I heard the echoes of social media regarding health myths. Yo, and I think I'm coming so good, so. Oh, my fake crime, my whom from a crab was now it was if a good nurse. Has it worked for you?
I mean, as it stands now, I'm the only person whom none of the myths has worked for. That's in all fairness.
That issue again.
No comment on that one. I know
but I can't, as it stands now, with the amount of medical knowledge in my possession and in that of my friends, because draw a link between how pouring water on your leg would help the pepper in your eyes.
There's no link, dear Frema. I can't think of a link. You see, I think the reasoning, and I'm going to play devil's advocate today for you, because you're the one who likes to do that, is that when you pour the cold water on your feet, it kind of takes your mind off momentarily.
See, that's what I was thinking.
Hey, Frema, but it doesn't it doesn't solve your problems. You know, it just kind of takes your mind off it briefly. But having said that, it doesn't reverse the damage that could have been caused because of the pepper in your eye. So then we'd just like to mention briefly that people will have to be really safe with dangerous stuff. Not just the pepper. Today is pepper. Tomorrow it could be a toxic substance. Tomorrow it could be some gas, some powder. We need to be safe. And when it does happen like that, probably don't pour the water on your feet. Maybe on your face.
Okay. Maybe on your face. I mean,
so that, yes, whatever toxic stuff, you can dissolve the concentration of it that has gone into your eye and then get to the nearest facility. As much as possible, try not to rub it.
That's the first instinct, you know?
I know.
Now my pepper no enter into eye cells no. Na enter. Na fe woni nya peppery. Na fe prunes yo sa. Oba consult na red eye. Na diagnose na sesa.
Okay, you're fancy and another English of mine. You know how all my friends tend to do that, but something was dawning on me as we were discussing this. Most people are they turn a near and that's because a near. The few that will put water not on their faces. But I remember someone telling me, oh, put your eye in water. So literally they brought the cup, you know, and that actually I felt like was the most uncomfortable thing in the world.
It is uncomfortable.
But does it help?
But that actually does help, like she was saying. Oh. So it's better to put the water on your face if you can put it on the eye better. Clean water. Clean water so that you don't come and contaminate your eye as well. When you do that, you sort of wash the inciting agent quickly off from the eye. Then we can get some relief. So yes, if you put the water anywhere on your body, you take your mind off. So just put it on the eye and reduce the concentration as well so that we can get better results.
Yeah. There's one more thing about the eye. For no reason, you've done the water thing, nothing is working, still feels as if there's something on the eye. Some people have said, close the eye or, you know, find a way to keep the eye closed for some few minutes and then it will fall off on its own. Is there some truth in that as well? Or must you rush to the hospital if you've tried the water thing and it's not working?
Okay, so usually if something does fall in your eye, the irritant is not just the presence of the object on your eye, but then it may have caused some irritation,
okay,
which is what is stimulating your discomfort right now. So the thing may have left already, but the after effect of the little bit of trauma that it caused on the surface of the eye is what is causing the irritation. That usually wears off after a few hours. So if after a while it's still there and you notice reddening or other problems, then maybe you want to get an ophthalmologist to have a look at it for you. But usually, I think say usually by the end of the day, when a couple of hours day, it gets fine.
It gets fine.
Until you actually do that, mobile shake, no can't say yes, yeah.
Yo, what do you say? Ano pe bi ana wa sorry na unum nsu ana o felisa ka omnim. Umni ntosu ana e hye ho. Udidi anya say hia wo hye ho tumi felisa de ne hye ho. Ai so bia so omne da wo panyimu kra se na ba fele. Na akola keto ntumi nkasa. Ana minimu esi.
I work on Sunday and I drew. Tuesday 3 a.m. and I doctor by. And I'll say I'm going to go theater. So I'm MCS. So after that, I'm going to try me all right. But then I'm been to me keka me hunting. Been to me and so until the following day, that was Wednesday. And I next and I didn't betray me, so me banning me.
Yeah, then baby, baby sugu. And the edina on no more fed nyame wine say, Aquano, ni remove things you, and in a no more fix your oxygen, and man. A Jena doctor back would say, and Dr. Pennipa or Colebu, ombe friend number. Tono Bayano, Dr. Niji Aqualano, not any ball, Obutuno. To bonechisa utisa ablan soon and so MP nti MP no de nsa share nenum akọ ne minimum o de nsa share ne minimum no si akochoke wane ha sei na akọ ne minimum no MBA
it's one day me one minister friend me say akwala ne dane I say ne color no sesan otumi ye blue na wa green nti me yamu shemi in fact me basa na me say akwala no kra.
Sometimes when me bomb pie, like me communicate as of for me ma as of for beshen or hospital. But one day me on make friend me say me on be transfer yanko Kolebu.
Or that one my best say 2 weeks no mo ka say on per say on mo come money hole. E woni ha say no. Say ya manu a on to me engina. E na yeso ye ti ase no mo kokoye ma no.
Nti no mo ye we na me behwe no me ba na Mrs. A feeding baby shane has say and I'll feed in the film. To measure and be a mushy man, I'm saying, now, I know the idea. When I'm Mr. Say, no, say for now, no baby diafa.
We didn't be feeling dear now, me, mammy crying so be because that day I hear Banu cry now, who say. Or you nimpa.
Many GSM didn't neighbor feel because no that hospital on a member. By soon easy because now say every 2 hours I will feed you. Obe feeding every 2 hours from an upper and I drew my dear.
Ne didie mu de e kapa na ye ka
the feeding crano a month no e bro 500 cedis
acha 3-4 days be to aduane man Ne kanam sister sometimes cry oniska. Na ni way no sugar cry na etu. And say sometimes blocky. I will say every week be edini ko kosesa e wo kolebi. Sometimes cry kwakwa iniska e bobo sia na edini ko na yaba.
Irablan started school because in a condition, no. Say a common dinner, teacher not to me feeding. And I saw school no come mingle so every know what see or tissue and I didn't bet moja.
Minana ba kumbi or school. No, I cover bag. I funny book so be kobi. Obesu sa.
Empire body, you come pipe pantino every Monday be an amni come pipe. To the extent say me co-tenant for be chukura ko Kumase Mokpa Eko Empire man.
Yenim ye ebeyemu. Nanka ye bobu aye hu ti se ne ebe se ne ebe yin ska be kwa akoya man.
Me de say Vodafone for aba irabran kwan mo so mbe boa no. Because embo mo pese mo de boa no. So mo ambe mo anka still maybe 7 kakra me nim so be 7 and I say 8 years and some be any surgery. But say Vodafone for aba mu ne die. The surgery no betumi akoso. Like savings kakra ma ya to on betumi di ahwe no after the surgery or betumi start to school. Betumi ahwe no so yi.
Me and Kani Rab na hoya fair. So hopeful, innocent,
Full of life.
full of life. She said, "Okra from crowd muzo nya school na mpampa nyan mama na kaka onya obeko." Intelligent as well. Honestly, but 2 weeks answer na ye transform. Akole bi kranka obetumi afrima na. She's a fighter, eh?
Yes.
But
a
a
true
ban is
fighter.
saying. Now be wo bana ni masi.
It's known as esophageal atresia.
Okay.
It's just from your oral cavity, no, going down into the stomach, into the rest of the alimentary canal. It's a connector, straight. But sometimes a bar na pipe no is see. Into the stomach. Say pipe no. Normally say ye near. We're all 2 cells. To 4 cells, to 8 cells, to 16 cells. So we're all like flat. So everything goes on as a process. And flat cells are supposed to have a hole that's supposed to go through and link. So sometimes, no, the whole process, the whole process goes faulty somewhere along the line. And when that happens, things like this happen. So that you see that the mouth does not connect to the stomach. Generally, the problem, and that's what it is. Her mouth is not connecting to her stomach. Now, typically, no, almost condition. They have other malformations. Account ABA, na the vascular system, no problem. Vascular system in the heart, the arteries. So there are some deformities associated. If you have a connection in the limbs, ne so a problem. We should be a alimentary tract na colon ya then ibu ka ne tuno MPM, but other abnormalities can be associated with obi esophageal atresia sana. Banyamiadum, I mean, from listening to this, it didn't sound like she had any of these. So I mean, for that we'll say our first thank you to God. I mean, second, for keeping her alive. The second is that she doesn't have any of these abnormalities. Enti ebani sana, if we are not careful, who did dear? You are never uminima. Edu baby aho istina. Ebegu ho say rubber out di nsuo gum. Egu ho saa na begu baby a ohome fa no. Now that's where the issue comes. Now that gives you an aspiration pneumonia. I just say nsuo akwa gu baby a ohome fa no. Baby a ohome fa no ho fama nkwa na say ko. There's a little fluid there, but you shouldn't take any exogenous fluid in there.
Exogenous also.
Oh, it be a fluid from somewhere else. You shouldn't take any fluid from anywhere else. Lung forms some fluid to sort of do its work. But any fluid that comes from outside into the respiratory system causes what's known as aspiration pneumonitis. No, pneumonia I say sooner the buy. Bibisa. No, when you're careful, it can be very, very fatal if you don't identify it early, treat it early. So I'll give a thumbs up to the doctors and medical team. I'm share now to pick it up so that you can say akolano will.
Okay. I did back more kinds so. There's almost a nine so free no ba. Is it linked to what he's talking about fluids, Nana?
Well, it is, Frima, because, like he said, the tube is not patent all through to the stomach. So when it gets full, it comes back into the upper part of, you know, the way you eat into. But unfortunately, it's also linked to the back of your nose. And you said, you are tram white me found minimum soup because that's a little bit further up. And I will know what the side. And you said, tram was on it to me pay through minimum. Okay. Having said that, there are different types of this esophageal atresia, and it's determined by how it is linked to the airway. And I think he's elaborated a lot on the importance of that linkage because it's the reason why a lot of the children pass on.
Okay.
It's not usually even because say on to me because they be say one pass it tube what they do and be feeding. But say do any tram no. Na say koshe baby on home fani mo. It causes a lot of infection. Children go into respiratory distress, respiratory failure, and then they die from infection.
Because a rab for my idea.
Yes.
My idea say every week cry tube ni two then man pa ba.
Exactly, because you see, a growing child depends a lot on what he eats or he or she eats. It leads to what you call failure to thrive. I mean, the child just doesn't do well. They don't grow well because they're not eating right. And eventually they succumb to all kinds of other infections apart from the chest infections. And it gets even worse when there are other organs involved, like you said. If they have a hole in heart or kidney problems, then really the outlook is poor. Wow. But when it's like this, then eventually, yes, you do better.
It's obvious that she didn't have that to a point. Say, "But come here, or move feeding non so tough."
I do.
Feed non tough. And Sanyo man just say on tea do any ote.
Yes,
she can taste food and everything. And I'm sure she was looking forward to this surgery more than anyone else. So no kaheno. But every 2 hours, is it normal or it's too much or?
I mean, so
even
I mean,
at night, eh?
In the neonatal period, even for preterms and colano, it's just a feeding regimen. I am sort of beef up. The also can say she's at risk of failure to thrive. So for someone like her, no, you don't want to take chances with her nutritional status. You encourage the parents to feed every 2 hours, and also now say when good.
Into we operation am also some yema no. Omo de kofa tube foforo bi na ahye ho na say omo betwa baby esi no normal connect na plumbers here no be anything.
Surgical technique, there are various surgical techniques for this. Now it depends on what they find inside. Exactly. Gonna say the distance no is workable. It be see fine. Other techniques have been described. To me etrinka omasanko atrinka kopim say it be see. It also to me kofa another organ to sort of join.
Okay.
It depends on what they find in, and I don't know, specialists so how ya omshana.
Into onya after surgery we no hano. Obetumi amene fine, bibia fine means say osa. Into no omotwetwe no. Will it grow with her as she's growing? You know, I don't know what minimum.
Yeah, it will grow with her.
Bear another stiff something you have to worry about.
So
hopefully.
Okay. I mean, because you see, if the surgery has complications, which we hope we won't get.
Okay.
Yes. So hopefully she would grow, and then she would become a beautiful adolescent girl, go to school, teenage, and become beautiful like both of you.
Flatterer.
Thank you. Anyway, coming up, we've got a discussion with a specialist talking about autism, cerebral palsy, and Down syndrome. And also, we'll be right back.
My dad always says, family must stick together. So we found the perfect way to stay connected. We signed up for the Vodafone One Family Package. Now, Grandpa not only stays in touch with his old friends, but has also become a big hit in his social media circles. Mom can now also easily transfer data from our fixed broadband to Kojo's phone, or mine, or Dad's. Kojo can chat, oh.
Sign up today for Vodafone One Family, the first ever total communications package for the family that gives broadband, landline and mobile minutes, SMS and data for up to 4 mobile devices, and choose a package that best fits your family.
A family that stays connected, sticks together.
The future is exciting. Ready?
For the lack of knowledge, my people perish. But when it comes to this condition, a society that has deliberately kept the knowledge far away and this condition in the background. What am I talking about? Autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome. To help us understand this, we have Dr. Marilyn Marbell. She's a neurodevelopmental pediatrician. But don't worry, we'll explain that soon. But Doctor, welcome to Vodafone Healthline.
Thank you.
So Doc, like I said, honestly, it's like there's a huge stigma around these three. However, they are children.
Yes.
They didn't choose this. They were born into the world like this. Yes. But for those who might not know what cerebral palsy is, Down syndrome is, autism, could you please explain what that is? And maybe one more training kakra was say training there.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll start with autism.
Okay.
So autism is a developmental condition or disorder that affects a child and affects the way they communicate and the way they behave and the way they perceive their environment. Simply put, that is autism. For Down syndrome is a genetic condition or genetic disorder. A child is born with it because there's an additional chromosome as part of their genetic makeup. Chromosome is the background or the genetic computer in a human being.
Your phone is a computer.
That is the one that determines whether you're short, you're tall, the way you look. Every aspect of your human body is stored in the chromosome.
Wow.
So in children with Down syndrome, we all have 46 chromosomes. But in children with Down syndrome, they have an extra chromosome, which is extra chromosome 21. And this extra chromosome changes everything about them.
Into this time, less is more.
Exactly. Less is more. And then for cerebral palsy, these are children who have some challenges with the way they move their body or with the way they control their muscles. Muscles, so the muscles of the body, and also their joints. So they have challenges in muscle control, their movement, and their posture, the way we are sitting down. And this happens because there's an injury in the brain. Most of the time, the injury is whilst they are being formed in the womb. Sometimes it's during delivery, or sometimes just after delivery, whilst the brain is still very young. So this injury occurs once, and that affects the part of the brain that's used for movement and for posture.
Does it mean, sir, as if so be our planning said the injury will always be at that part of the brain that regulates?
It's amazing, but even though it's a group of disorders, somehow we put those ones that affects the movements and the posture under that one umbrella called cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy, no, I started with her. You said that it could be injury inside the womb or wakwalano, and now we are in terms of baby before the age of one month, or at what point in time?
So by definition, the injury should occur whilst the brain is still young. We usually say 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. So right from the time the brain is being formed up to 3 years, the brain is really dynamic.
It's growing.
So any injury during that time can affect later development.
Yes, if you're about you, because on the three, na bibi yana, but me affecting on to me 1990 ne muscles now go on. It's an our patch, right?
Exactly.
Don't pay no money na bibi abe bodo.
And now sometimes, instead of it being bodo, it can be extra stiff. That is in cerebral palsy. Because it's so stiff, then they can't move properly or they can't relax when they're supposed to relax. No, I am stiff. No, I am straight.
Straight or bed and no musio or bodo bed. So talking about cerebral palsy, how would they even feed?
Okay, so indeed cerebral palsy, as it affects the muscles, it can also affect the muscles you use to drink. So you know what we call the esophagus or the feeding tube is also a muscle. So in children with cerebral palsy, the muscle is also affected. It can affect the way they swallow their food. It can affect the way they drink. It can even affect their breathing, trying to put together their breathing and eating at the same time. All those things can be affected in cerebral palsy.
Before we go to management, I don't want to jump the gun because we have a lot to learn also about Down syndrome.
Yes.
And also, is this similar?
Okay,
or
so
how would you know cerebral palsy? What kind of Down syndrome? Almost say cerebral, and I say
no. So for Down syndrome, amazingly, because they have that one extra chromosome, they have certain physical features such that as soon as you see them, you know that this child has Down syndrome. So if I have a child who has Down syndrome from America, from Asia, from Africa, from wherever, they look alike as if they were siblings. Because of not twins,
but siblings.
Almost say. Certain physical features. Example, the first thing we notice is that they have what we call flat fasces.
What is that?
Flat fasces means that if I look at you now, at your sideline, I can see your nose jutting out, beautiful lips protruding.
Hey, doctor complimenting me.
Your forehead, everything.
But
if you look at a child with Down syndrome, it looks flat in the sense that the forehead is flat, the nose is flat, the lips are thin, so we call it flat fascias.
Into ocean the side view, nice wide straight when any say.
Exactly. But apart from flat fascias, they also have other things. So they have small eyes that we describe as almond shaped. So you know the way an almond is. It's oblong.
Asian eyes.
Exactly. In medical terms, we call it Mongolian eyes. Just like the way Asian people look, with their eyes turned up. That's how children in Down syndrome will look. Sometimes they'll have an extra skin in the medial parts, the inner parts of the eye. Extra skin. It's called epicanthal folds.
Wow.
They can have other things. They can have small hands. They can have a simian crease, which is, if you look at my palms, it has different lines. In some children with Down syndrome, instead of all these little lines, they have only one in the middle like that. If you look at their toes, they can have a wide sandal gap. So they're between the big toe and the other toes, there's a very wide gap. We call it a sandal gap. So they have different features, but somebody who knows Down syndrome can look at these things and say that your child has Down syndrome. Of course, we would confirm by a blood test to see that the extra chromosome is there. Yes.
Autism ne?
So for autism, the peculiar thing about autism is that you cannot see it just by looking at the features. So you cannot say this child is autism just by looking at their face. It has no face for autism. So as I said, autism also affects their behavior and it also affects their communication. So those are the main issues.
That's how you would know.
And challenges with autism.
But also blood test be one.
No. So we haven't gotten there yet. There's no blood test that can diagnose autism. So diagnosis is usually by observation. Looking at the way the child is behaving, looking at the challenges.
In a group or what?
Especially in a group, that's very correct. Especially the way they interact with their peers. So the peers is the same age group. The way they are playing with them, the way they are trying to communicate with them, the way they behave when they are frustrated or when they are happy. Those are some of the things that we look at.
Doctor, so don't go to school yet. That's only new fear, maybe a few opinion phone quan or now for they said the child is not behaving. What you think, what the parents or the people around think is a typical behavior for a child or a dean to do or no point penny baby in your manner. Should they give you should I say a room to think more about it? Be autism and I say you should wait till the child starts school, not still behaving and walk on. a bit secluded, answer what I say, be a main fan and conquest or autism.
Okay, great. For autism, the main thing is that we need to pick it up early. Early diagnosis makes a very big difference. Okay. Early diagnosis and therefore early intervention. So if you are a parent and you notice that you think your child's behavior or development is not what you think it's supposed to be. Okay. Maybe you've Googled, you've read what a 9-month-old should do, what a 1-month-old. You have some nieces and nephews and they are not doing it. You definitely need to seek help. Okay. Sometimes children are different. Yeah. People have different trajectories or developmental milestones. But once a parent is worried, that's the biggest sign. It's enough for you to seek help. It's better to go and the doctor will say that, oh, no, this is normal. Or this is not normal.
Inti Mr. Wa, okasa doctor unko who seek help. Answer baba camera. So you told me that this neurodevelopmental pediatrician you may a new. Inti jinsi be hu nkwa na say
they be
kola doctor bia.
Kola doctor bia say uwenya I'm going to cheat.
No, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Doctor, if you don't get a pediatrician, any doctor, a general pediatrician, a medical, any doctor, or anybody who knows a bit more about children, because any doctors in Kwana, it may diagnose autism. Psychologists can diagnose autism. Teachers who've worked with children with autism can have a screening and give you an idea that they have autism. So anybody you can find who can give you some help, you need to.
You mentioned, sir, autism your behavior, Down syndrome your extra chromosome, what I see, cerebral palsy, so it's my injury. Is any of them the parents' fault? Injury especially. If you're not, my men maybe I'll peg it do no I could prana so one shot anything like that. Is it any of them the child's fault or the mother's fault? Sorry?
No. So these three things we are talking about: autism, Down syndrome, and cerebral palsy. No, none of it is due to the mother.
Not
or
even
to the father
related
or parents
or
no.
runs in the family or
not at all. So for Down syndrome, nobody understands why some children will come out with an extra chromosome. We do not understand. Yes, indeed, if you are an older woman, like if you are 35 and above.
35, yeah.
If you are 35 and above, the probability is higher. It doesn't mean that all mothers who are above 35 will have Down syndrome. But apart from Mpaibono, we can also even do prenatal diagnosis. Prenatal diagnosis, say, there are some blood tests and some tests that you can do whilst pregnant to know. But the point is that if you know you have a probability of having a Down syndrome, what does it mean? Because we have people with Down syndrome who are living fulfilled life. So it will be a personal decision. You can know beforehand, but it's nobody's fault. Nobody understands why some children will have Down syndrome. The same thing with the cerebral palsy. Make us say an injury in the developing brain. More than 85 or 90% of the time, we don't understand why the injury occurs. And the injury actually occurs whilst the baby is inside the womb. So we do not know till the baby comes out. The few other times, the ones we could do something about are once the baby has come out. I say during delivery. So if the delivery is difficult, baby comes out, to mean breathing, when you oxygen, yes, that can cause it. And a baby ninya jaundice, yellowing of the eyes. So the ones you can do something about is the fact that if you have a young baby, when you're yellowing of the eyes, and yellow, and or yare, you need to take the baby to the hospital. Exactly. So those are just the few minorities. But most of the time, cerebral palsy, you don't have a handle over it. You don't know why. Autism is also, we do not know why some children get autism. Up to now, 100% of the time, you name the actual cause. Theories believe that it could be genetic. But genetic, it could be. Or, I mean, it supports, most of the research supports it is genetic. With some environmental stresses or influences, but we are still not 100% sure exactly how the genes interact to cause autism. Exactly.
But in the meantime, it's not your parents' fault for autism
at
as
all.
well.
At all.
My dear, okay, answer about how you can manage so Sana Yakopon the chair, how you can manage it. Is this something that Ghana should be worried about? Do we even have enough children? I be at the move be so. And I be a through.
Oh, definitely, we need to be worried about it because, say, if they are not even a lot, they are still part of Ghana. Yes, they are still Ghanaians. They also have their rights.
Correct.
And so we need to do all we can as a nation and as a people to be able to give them the best potential they need. But the prevalence of autism, in Ghana, we haven't done studies, but we are seeing it a lot. And it's probably the same incidence in other countries. So in the Western world, it's 1 in 68. Into every 60 children, every 68 children you see, one of them may have autism. So it's common. It's common. Cerebral palsy is also quite common, about 1%. And then for Down syndrome, 1 in 600. So every 600 babies, one may be Down. It is quite common, something that we need to do something about.
So how are we going to manage this?
Okay. So the main thing for these 3 conditions we are talking about are support systems. So the 3 conditions, none of them have a cure. Down syndrome, we can't change your genetic makeup. Cerebral palsy, the injury has happened already. It's permanent.
Oh, when you operation, is somebody
no.
Transplant be
transplanted brain. And the last one is autism. And also we haven't actually figured out exactly, but even though it's genes, we cannot change your genes. And so all these things are support systems. Most of the time you need, let me start with Down syndrome. Down syndrome, apart from the fact some their gross motor skills, so the time they will walk, the time they start moving is delayed. So we need to do physiotherapy, exercise, massage, so that the muscles get stronger, so that they can walk early, they can sit early. Down syndrome, all of them will need some form of special education as they grow, because their learning development is below average.
Schools,
exactly. But what we are fighting for, even for all these 3, both Down syndrome, autism, and cerebral palsy, is what we call inclusive education. That is the ideal. So in every regular school, there are teachers who understand the condition and can teach them. Because no matter what condition you have, you always have the potential to learn. It doesn't matter if you have injury in your brain, or you have an extra chromosome, or your behavior. No.
Their brains function.
Yes.
They can learn. They can play everything.
They can learn.
Normal.
So Down syndrome, their brain, we say they also have intellectual disability, which means that they may not get as far as a child who doesn't have Down syndrome, but the potential is there. Every child, no matter the disorder, has a potential to learn. So special education is where the teacher is finding out what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, how can I help to improve the weaknesses, how can I channel your strengths to become better. It's only inclusive education. The ideal is that every school will accept all children, and it's actually the law that every school, private or public, are supposed to accept children with disorders.
They don't have the teachers.
Yes, they'll say they don't have the teachers, they don't have the knowledge for it. But we encourage that they should try and get the knowledge. They should try and get training.
Perhaps they are afraid they'll lose the other parents because they are afraid that this is contagious. So that brings me to my next question. Is it in any form contagious?
No, never. It cannot be contagious. So Down syndrome, as I said, is genetic. I cannot give you my genes just by sitting by you, by holding you, by playing with you. Cerebral palsy has already happened when the baby was small. There's no way the baby can give you an injury or give your child an injury. None of these 3 things are contagious.
There is a myth that if you are pregnant and you play with children with disabilities, your baby, you'll be born with a disability. Perhaps the one that you played with the most will transfer that disability to your baby in the womb.
Never true. It's never true. It's never true. And as you rightly say, it's a myth.
And can it never true ni bio? Mibusa doctor say, I am passe, so offer your phone, as only aquala, sebio, autism be, and I said Down syndrome be, cerebral palsy, can one semi. On to send Qualana canibi. We didn't diagram. Oba banon so, sir, challenge Nibiana. Na doctor said, never true.
It's never true. And you know, correct.
Me and Jan Renemuno, Aquala be Aquala.
Exactly.
Doc Pacho, final message for us.
My final message is that children with Down syndrome, children with cerebral palsy, children with autism are still children. They are human. It was no fault of theirs or their parents that they have this condition. As a society, we need to stop being judgmental. We need to stop being judgmental of parents who have children with these conditions. We need to support them as best as we can. And then as a nation, we need to do much more than we are doing to help support children with these disabilities. As parents, I encouraged parents that find a support group, because it's a challenge and it's difficult to have a child with special needs. So you need a support group of other parents or other professionals who understand your child, who understand you, so that you can always get help. It's really important for parents also to get support.
It's not secure be anyway. A moment me busa question be say inti edrobi wo hokra me ama na said then.
Inti for cerebral palsy, apart from the fact that they cannot move or they cannot move well, they have other conditions. Sometimes they can have seizures or what we call epilepsy. Sometimes they can have other things. So for those ones, no, sometimes there's medication for it. For the stiffness, ebe improve no kakra.
Yeah, we have symptoms bisa no, but
yes,
a cure.
A cure, no.
And the mama some come and no. Ajo, doc. Hey, where are you? I hope that this has helped with the stigma. It has helped us better understand our own children and not to shun them and pull our children away from them and say, don't play with that child. And, you know, those kind of things. I think it's not the way to go as a society. Because I hear that Einstein was actually autistic.
Yes.
See, Einstein. If you don't know who Einstein is, go Google her. Anyway, doctor. Thank you, Dr. Marvel. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on Vodafone Healthline. It's been a pleasure and we've learned so much from you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. Well, don't go anywhere because there's a lot more to learn. Samokai Irabna. Akola kitona na nimni mwesino. Umianko Greater Accra Regional Hospital. Ni ensure the air cost wo.
Sorry, I'm not paying now. Many are because I'm need Diago. But time no soon, I'm not better for theater. And I'm a real boy. Me emotion.
would like to welcome Irabna and her grandma, Millicent, into our studio. Pocho Mom Akwaba.
Yaminado.
Pocho na sisi apom to them.
Yaminado. Baby.
Pocho na answer na wobeye Irabna ni surgery man. Na nyamem to them.
Na nyamem oye, but na yenye nje wo abofana sitin.
Akade wonye nyija no ocheden.
Cheden na nedi ban mem. Ni nyamayem bia no. Se yeda na yesor anapa na yehuna yenwenje.
Sisi enyamem to them. Wo your surgery we na. If sisi otum disease.
Sisi ade nyame na don wo ye wie na yede no kofin. 2 weeks time na doctor no Friday. Ye botum ya amane diban. Ye mane diban hwede obokwa. Nti damda na odi emutuo.
Emutuo.
Nyo okwe.
Oh nice.
Nti ade chi na odi fufu.
Oh no or menyanko.
Nti ni 3 days time na so beti na edi fufu. Oni na chi no in feed no wa house onye.
Onye ho no mbio. Yeda nyame ase.
Nenum kotin na sisi ya.
Yeda nyame ase. Na sisi na school kom na nyamem so nyamem.
All san ni situation tina ye.
Na won ko school.
On ko school.
Se no ye feed oboko.
Nyo sisi ade maka che no mami de next year.
Oh why do you next year?
Yes, wa makwan.
Yo.
Yes, next year nyame ya adoma.
Yo.
Na
yenye no kwa na betunta o share Vodafone. No mfa bibia mfa na enum.
On fa bibia mfa na enum na ado yen de se ye dida. Obusun da man da nu so bedi.
Oh.
Nti se ye didi we na ye de advance free anadwo no. O twetwegua.
Oh.
Ye boso an nkwa no bado we da no nyina.
Oh.
Wada nti na ai all force dey obedidi. Nti nyame na adoma. Wa ye mani wie no. Sisi ade. Why okay?
Sisi otum didi.
No didi.
Ye no munso e. Irabna. Gina no. No. Oh, why are they? No, you better Vodafone first there. Wabona Irabna from 4 years of life, she's now able to feed through the mouth and taste what the food feels like all of us, and enjoy under sensation that life offers us, the sense of taste. Thank you, Vodafone. Sisi walkway Vodafone onja hon dama o ma bibi kakra wodo bo hwe Irabna na wodi ya atu nti no on pocho abasam na woka odi che Vodafone
ma woka ma Vodafone fon dey ma oya ye hu o TV do ni na no onye ndade oye no kwa because nimpo ketchem na minjindi ba me ben me bo hu de bibia da na kwano nti me da ho na atem me megusu nyina me da Vodafone fast.
We would like to say thank you to Vodafone for giving Irabna the opportunity to join the family at meal times. The future is indeed exciting.
Hey, Dr. Folsom, Irabna we nika papa.
Who be nika?
Hey, also we di fufu.
Debi na won ye tube feed you san as say who tasty fufu or minimum.
Waka ha. Oh, why are they? The grandma and mama nyina ma ya dey.
Exactly.
Now once again, Nancy Ebekono, I have a tip for you. Nkwala no mo autism no ne cerebral palsy ne down syndrome no mo di to me challenging kakra. Nti nutritionist bi and dietitian bi chia kwan. Na on chose na betumi am aduane ne mu ayeduro nya just kabo nko a why no mo tumi nyim from amamo.
Absolutely. And we've had a brilliant show today and we call it a wrap. So until we come your way again next week, take care, keep healthy, bye-bye.
The future is exciting. Ready?